Stop now. No matter what you're doing, no matter the chaos in your home or the noise that keeps trying to fill your head, stop. What I have to say today isn't for everyone. It's for you. There's a weight you carry, a silent burden you've been holding alone, with no one around you able to measure how deep that exhaustion goes. You feel this Saturday is different. Something in the air has shifted, and you can't put into human words why your spirit is on alert, as if a door were about to open. You felt it earlier today, didn't you? A sudden stillness that invaded your chest and brought you here. You didn't stumble onto this message by accident. You're here because your mission, the one you came to fulfill on this earth, has been revealed to you today. In this encounter, I'm going to guide you into a clarity you've been seeking for years. By the end of this conversation, you'll recognize the 5 specific signs that have been repeating in your life, and you'll understand, once and for all, what they really mean. You'll grasp the invisible pattern that has been blocking your progress, keeping you stuck in a cycle of effort with no harvest. And more than anything, I'm going to declare over you the truth of your mission, the exact reason you were chosen for this moment. It's no coincidence you're hearing this now. The waiting is over. What was hidden under the veil of routine is about to be uncovered. Look at the signs that have been showing up in your daily life. You've been feeling waves of emotion that arise for no apparent reason, as if something was stirring in the depths of your soul. You notice that conversations with people close to you, ones that used to make total sense, now feel hollow, empty of substance. You've been waking up at specific hours in the middle of the night, sensing that there's a presence or a call waiting for you to wake up. You feel a deep isolation, not because you want to be alone, but because your current environment no longer fits the frequency of the person you're becoming. This isn't depression. This isn't a lack of purpose. This is your system being recalibrated. It's the sign that you're being prepared for something greater, something that requires you to let go of what no longer belongs to you. The exhaustion you feel doesn't come from work. It comes from resisting the fact that your path has changed. Your fingers typing those 3 numbers represent your yes, your spiritual agreement with what's being revealed. It's the smallest of actions, but it's the seal that you accept your own transition. Type 888, and then come back to me, because what lies beneath this layer of signs is even deeper. The pattern you've been operating in isn't a mistake or a character flaw. It's an exhausting repetition that feels like a mill wheel. You've been spending your energy pulling on ropes that are no longer tied to anything. For years you believed that effort was the only path to validation, that if you worked harder, dedicated yourself more, sacrificed more of your rest, the door would finally open. But the truth is, your effort was being applied on ground that is no longer yours. You've been trying to build a castle on shifting sand, forcing a harvest in soil that has already exhausted its usefulness to your soul. This cycle of trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again isn't a lack of faith. It's a disconnect between what you do and what you came to do. You've been an excellent executor of other people's tasks, an architect of dreams that aren't your own. And that's exactly why exhaustion has become your constant companion. The diagnosis of your journey is simple, though hard to admit. You've been too faithful to the wrong path. Now, picture your life as a garden planted by past generations, a place full of trees that don't bear the fruit you need to harvest. You've spent your days pruning dead branches, watering weeds, and trying to grow flowers that don't belong in your climate. This garden was inherited, loaded with other people's expectations, fears that weren't yours, and ideas of success that were imposed on you before you could choose. The uprooting of the old is what you've been feeling lately. It's the pain of watching those ancient trees wither, the anguish of seeing the scenery you've cultivated for decades lose its color. But understand, this garden isn't dying from neglect. It's being prepared for a new planting, The soil is being turned so that the deep roots of your true mission can finally touch fertile ground. You aren't losing your garden. You're being set free from someone else's so you can finally tend your own. Let this revelation settle where it has touched you. The simple act of typing these 3 words makes your recognition permanent in your own record, a mark that you've stopped running and taken your place. Type them, then come back to me, because the solution to all this wait isn't another strategy. It's a return. The solution doesn't require you to build anything. It doesn't demand that you study more, become someone else, or find a new productivity formula. The real solution is a return to your original essence, the quiet act of letting go of the ropes you've been pulling in vain. It's the abandonment of excessive control, the surrender to that gentle voice you've been trying to drown out with noise and busyness. You don't have to run toward your mission. You just need to allow your mission to find you where you are. Surrendering control is the recognition that you are a steward, not the owner of time. It's stopping the effort to force the fruit and starting to prepare the soil. When you finally stop fighting the current and accept the flow of your own nature, everything that seemed impossible begins to align without effort. The mission you came to fulfill isn't a burden you carry. It's the natural expression of who you are when you're not trying to be someone else. Let go of the fear of not producing. Let go of the anxiety of being noticed by others and start being faithful to what burns in your chest. This return is the beginning of everything. The seed that, once planted in the right soil, will bear fruit you can't even imagine today. Everything you've lived so far has only been the process of tilling the ground, the necessary preparation so that the coming harvest won't be destroyed by the wind. You are ready, not because you've learned more, but because you've finally grown tired of pretending the old path was your destiny. Now take a deep breath and feel what it's like to let the weight of expectations fall. You don't have to carry the world. You only need to carry your part. The part that was assigned exclusively to you before time began. It's in gentleness, stillness, and listening that your true strength shows itself. You are no longer the servant of routine. You are the guardian of your own purpose. And as you surrender, you'll see that what you were seeking was actually seeking you. We're not measuring popularity, not following audience rules. We're sealing a pact of witness. If what was named here found an echo in your soul, let this small gesture be your silent confirmation that the truth was heard. It's an act of union with all those who, like you, have decided to stop fighting their own purpose and start walking toward their true mission. As you process this surrender, I want you to look to the side, inside your mind. There is someone in your life who needs to hear this recognition today. Someone who has been working far beyond what anyone around them can see, carrying an invisible weight no one else acknowledges. Think of that face that came to mind when I mentioned the exhaustion of those who search for purpose without understanding the route. That person who, like you, has maintained a posture of silence, almost like someone waiting for a sign in the middle of a desert of uncertainty. That person who is dedicated but feels the door never opens, despite all the effort invested. Send this message to them, not as a casual suggestion, but as a delivery, a piece of a puzzle that arrived exactly when they needed it most. Now feel the solidity of this moment. The path you've walked to get here wasn't a mistake, it was a formation. And the clarity you now possess isn't an accident, it's your authority being restored. Before we move on to the next steps of this journey, I want you to affirm your position. Don't type these words as a wish or a distant hope. Type them as a confirmation, like signing a document that already had your name on it. This agreement we've made today, between your hearing and the truth we've revealed, is something you will carry and live throughout this entire new cycle. Your identity is no longer defined by what you do, but by who you are at your core. Type these words slowly, letting your fingers do what your spirit has already declared as true. You are committed. You are commissioned. You are sent. Each of these words carries the weight of your new season, the confirmation that your life is no longer a collection of random events, but a trajectory drawn by a higher purpose. Your commitment isn't to success as the world defines it, but to faithfulness to your own nature. Your commission isn't a task you must carry in fear of failure, but an authority you exercise with the calm of someone who knows exactly whom they serve. Your sending isn't to a distant place, but to the place where you already are, to the people who already live around you, to the situations that need your transformed presence. All across the planet right now, as the sun sets or the day dawns in different time zones, other souls are stopping exactly like you. People who, like you, have learned to recognize the whisper of truth amid the deafening noise of routine. You are not an isolated individual trying to decipher a secret code. You are a point of light, lighting up in an invisible yet indestructible network of purposes being revealed this Saturday. There is a harmony happening now, a tuning that can't be heard by physical ears, but is caught by the sensitivity of those who have passed through the fire of transformation and come out ready for the mission. Notice that the sense of urgency you carried, that anxiety to make everything happen at once, is being replaced by a serene clarity. That clarity is the sign that you've finally understood that your mission isn't about what you build for the world to see, but about the frequency you maintain as you walk. As you hear these words, imagine this network expanding. Imagine other people, in distant cities, in quiet homes or amid urban chaos, feeling the same relief in their shoulders that you felt when you understood that excessive effort wasn't faithfulness, but fear. They too are letting go of the moorings. They too are at this moment making the silence necessary so that the voice of their own calling can be heard clearly. This collective doesn't need gatherings, doesn't need manifestos, and doesn't need human leaders clamoring for attention. It sustains itself through the unity of purpose. It's a communion of spirits who have decided to stop fighting the current and begin navigating the course set for them from the beginning. When you become aware that others are living the same shift, your journey gains a dimension of security you never had before. You understand that if something is real and deep enough to touch your core, it's touching the core of many others, creating a wave of change that is silent but capable of altering the topography of existence for everyone around you. Feel that connection now. Let it fill the space around you. You are part of an army of peacemakers, healers, bridge builders who have finally understood that your greatest contribution to this world is to be exactly who you were created to be. There's no more need to try to be something else. There's no more obligation to prove your worth through external results. Your presence is your service. Your peace is your declaration to the world. And knowing that there are others like you, sitting in stillness, breathing the same truth, renews your own courage. You are being prepared day after day for what comes next. But what comes isn't an extra load. It's the natural unfolding of who you have become. The mission you came to fulfill is the highest expression of your integrity, and now that you've recognized it, the path opens in a way that once seemed impossible. Your life is no longer a sequence of accidents, but a work of art being painted with the brush of consciousness. Remain in this state of observation. Remain in listening. Because what was aligned today isn't something you'll forget tomorrow. It's something that will accompany you in every decision, every conversation, every moment of silence. The truth you found today is the anchor that will keep you from getting lost in the coming days. Even when the noise tries to return, even when doubt tries to whisper that you need to go back to useless effort, remember this feeling right now. Remember this invisible network. Remember this community of awakened souls who, along with you, are honoring the call they received. You are the bearer of a light that doesn't need electricity to shine, and your existence alone is already the answer to a question that so many others haven't even learned to ask. The time of the desert is over, and the time of harvest manifestation, and quiet authority has finally come for those who had the courage to wait. You now walk on ground that wasn't prepared by human hands, but by the precision of your own obedience to what is invisible. There were moments when you felt the earth beneath your feet give way, when the ground wasn't firm, and every step was a desperate attempt to find balance in a storm no one else seemed to feel. But look, what you interpreted as instability was actually the removal of foundations that could no longer support the weight of the structure being built inside you. What was torn away wasn't your security, but the illusion that you needed to hold on to something that could be seen or touched. This is the season of the inner harvest, where what was planted in silence, amid the tears you didn't allow to fall in public, now breaks the surface. You spent so much time trying to understand the mechanics of life, trying to decipher why effort didn't produce the promised result, why dedication didn't find the recognition it seemed to deserve. You felt you were operating on a different frequency from those who walked beside you, as if there were a musical note playing in the depths of your soul while the rest of the world heard only noise. And now you realize that your mission wasn't about what you would do, but about who you needed to become in order to bear the truth that was delivered to you. This isn't about accumulating tasks, listing goals, or building empires on the sand of other people's expectations. Your mission is a mark. It's a frequency you emit when you enter a room, a balm you carry without even opening your mouth, a peace that defies the logic of the distressed. While the world searches for formulas for success, you understand that true success is the absence of conflict between your inside and your outside. You have stopped being a seeker of answers and become the very channel through which answers flow. Notice how the things that used to steal your sleep now lose their importance in the face of the clarity this Saturday brought you. Those worries that seemed like unshakable mountains now reveal themselves as passing clouds, unable to block the light that emanates from your purpose. You are no longer running after life. You are allowing life to walk through you. This transition is subtle, almost imperceptible to an outsider, but for you, it's as if a veil has been lifted from your eyes, revealing that the door you tried so hard to force was always open, waiting only for you to stop pushing and start walking. The weight you carried wasn't yours. It was the legacy of generations who lived in scarcity, in hurry, in the constant need to prove their own worth in order to deserve existence. You came to close that cycle. You came to show that it's possible to live without the weight of need, to create without the desperation of survival. Your mission is to be the example of freedom, the living proof that provision isn't what you get, but what you recognize as already existing. When you look back at the years of confusion, the days when loneliness felt like punishment, you now understand that all of it was intensive training. Every disappointment was a lesson in detachment. Every betrayal was a reminder that the only safe place to anchor your hope is in the center of your own integrity. You have been shaped. The rough edges have been removed. Pride has been dissolved, and your personal will has been aligned with something far greater, something that breathes through you. Don't be in a hurry to explain this to those still trapped in the logic of effort and reward. They wouldn't understand because the language you speak now doesn't use words. It uses your presence, your serenity in the face of chaos, your ability to look at a problem and see only an opportunity to manifest the solution already residing in the invisible. You are learning that your mission isn't a place you arrive at, but a state you inhabit. It's the state of someone who no longer needs external confirmation because the voice that gave you the call is the same one that sustains every movement of your day. Maintain this alignment. Protect this flame that has been rekindled inside you. What you experience today isn't something to be discussed. It's something to be lived. Your life is the evidence. Your peace is the testimony. Where there is a need for comfort, your presence will be the remedy. Where there is a need for direction, your clarity will be the map. Where there is a need for light, you will be the beacon that points the way home. You were, are, and always will be the one called to heal what the world forgot how to love. This is the exact moment when your vision expands beyond the walls you built yourself to shield against uncertainty. You realize that every time you tried to control the outcome, you only delayed the arrival of a harvest that was already prepared. The silence you've been cultivating isn't empty. It's a vessel where divine will is being poured, drop by drop, until you overflow. The mission you came to fulfill doesn't require you to shout, to assert yourself, or to convince anyone of your truth. It only asks that you be with a transparency so deep that whoever is nearby feels the temperature of your soul shift. When you sit in silence today, look at your hands and recognize in them the tools that were designed for this time, for this purpose, and for nothing less than that. You aren't here by chance, nor was your path drawn by accident. Every stone you encountered was the foundation for the structure you're building now, brick by brick, with the patience of someone who knows eternity is on your side. Let fear dissolve into the certainty that your existence is the purpose itself. Stop looking for signs outside yourself, because the most authentic sign is the peace that now, in this very moment, begins to reign at the center of your being, where only urgency used to dwell. You are becoming the path itself, the light itself, and the answer itself to the question the world hasn't yet had the courage to ask. Surrender is your greatest act of power. As you loosen the reins, destiny takes the wheel, and your life flows in the exact direction you've always wanted to be, but never knew how to reach. Calm your heart and feel the pulse of the universe aligning with your breath, confirming that everything you went through was the necessary preparation for this awakening of consciousness that now moves through every fiber of your body. You are the vessel, the water and the source, all in one movement, in one life, in one calling. And if you feel that this calling still echoes like an ancient sound in your mind, if you realize that your sensitivity to the invisible isn't a weakness but your greatest asset, know that your agreement is needed now. It's not about metrics or numbers, but a gesture of silent recognition. A seal that what has been named here has found its home within you. There's a specific person in your life who needs to hear these words today. Think of that person who has worked harder than anyone around them, someone carrying a tiredness that isn't physical but spiritual, someone who puts on a strong front while secretly searching for a meaning the world keeps hiding. That person's face came to your mind as I spoke, didn't it? Send this message to them. Not as advice, but as an offering, a ministry of care, a way to make sure they also know they aren't walking through a desert without purpose. Now take a deep breath and feel the weight of what we've built together. Before this moment closes, write the phrase, "I am the chosen one," in the comments below. Don't do it as a hope, but as a confirmation. The covenant that was formed between heaven and your ability to listen on this journey today is something you'll carry with you like an invisible garment through all this new time opening up ahead of you. Type the words slowly, feeling each letter, letting your intention become a landmark in your story. You are committed, you are commissioned, you are sent. In this exact moment all over the world, other souls like yours are receiving this same awakening, feeling the same urgency and the same peace you feel now. You aren't an isolated point. You are part of a tapestry that doesn't need spotlights to be real, and it's precisely in that quiet discretion that your strength lies. It is sealed.